What you're about to see isn't science fiction. It's a glimpse into how one country is reshaping the physical world at a speed and scale that defies belief. Over the last decade, the People's Republic of China has spent more than $450 billion on one of the largest infrastructure expansions in human history. Entire cities are being carved out of nothing, rivers are being bent, mountains sliced in half, and machines are literally building land that never existed. This isn't just development, it's domination, and it's changing everything. Trade, energy, power, everything we thought was possible. So why should you care? Because when a nation mobilizes nearly $500 billion to reshape its land, the shockwaves are not just local, they're global. This kind of mega building challenges how the world thinks about infrastructure. Floating cities, smart tunnels, underground highways. Ideas that once lived in science fiction books are now being poured out of concrete in real time. China is not just catching up, it's leapfrogging the rest of the world. This is infrastructure as strategy, engineering as power, a silent form of dominance baked into steel, concrete, and control. So what does $450 billion actually buy? Not just roads, not just dams. This is a total reprogramming of terrain and purpose. In June 2024, China confirmed a staggering commitment, $450 billion into what officials call a National Infrastructure Acceleration Strategy. And this is no fluff. We're talking about mega dams, energy hubs, cross-continental transport corridors, and even entire new cities. What China is doing goes far beyond construction. It's about reshaping the very fabric of its territory. Water, energy, transport, and urbanization are all being reimagined. These are no longer small-scale projects. Small projects don't cut it anymore. The challenges are too big, and China's appetite is even bigger. This is the mega-scale mindset, and $450 billion is the price tag for staying ahead. Let's dive into one of China's most ambitious and awe-inspiring feats, hydroelectric power. In China, water isn't just a resource to be managed. It's a force of transformation and strategic dominance. The hydroelectric dams here are not just about generating power. They control the very landscape itself. These massive structures are engineered to do more than just harness energy. They shape the environment and serve multiple purposes that go far beyond what most people think of when they imagine a dam. Take, for instance, one of China's largest hydroelectric projects, a dam rising 289 meters, taller than most skyscrapers with 16 turbines, each capable of producing 1 million kilowatts of power. But this isn't just about power generation. These dams have a multi-dimensional impact. They control floods by storing excess water during the rainy season, which prevents devastating destruction downstream. They irrigate vast stretches of farmland, enabling China to feed its population even in areas that were once drought-prone. These dams even reroute rivers, controlling their flow to where they're needed most, ensuring water resources for agriculture, industry, and city development. What's even more impressive is how these dams serve as transportation hubs. By taming the water, they provide new navigation routes for ships, turning once impassable rivers into busy trade corridors. But these projects are not just about altering nature. They're about reprogramming it to serve the nation's growth and its aspirations on the global stage. They are symbols of China's engineering power, showing the world that no force of nature, whether it's the mountains, the rivers, or the land, can stand in the way of their vision. China's hydroelectric ambitions don't stop at just these mega projects. The country is constantly innovating, making its dams smarter, more efficient, and even more powerful. Take, for example, the smart dams being built today. Using cutting-edge technologies like AI and 3D printing, these dams can now predict and respond to changes in the environment in real time. AI-controlled floodgates adjust automatically based on rainfall patterns, seismic activity, and water pressure. This means that China's energy infrastructure is not only massive in scale, but also incredibly adaptable, capable of handling the demands of an ever-growing population and industrial sector. Water, in China's case, isn't just a resource, it's a tool for control, a way to tame the environment and put it to work for national growth. These megadams are changing the very definition of what infrastructure can do. They aren't just generating power, they're reshaping entire ecosystems, driving economic progress, and positioning China to control resources and trade routes for decades to come. Now let's talk about one of the most transformative aspects of China's mega projects: transport infrastructure. China's railways are a marvel of engineering that push the boundaries of what's possible, with networks and feats of construction that would have seemed like impossible dreams just a few decades ago. Take, for example, the massive rail viaduct that stretches nearly 2,000 kilometers, supported by pillars that rise 74 meters high, nearly the height of a 25-story building. This isn't just a bridge or a railway, it's a monumental piece of infrastructure built to defy geography. Freight trains now glide effortlessly over landscapes that once took days to cross, thanks to China's relentless pursuit of cutting-edge transport technology and massive engineering projects. In China, geography itself is negotiable. Mountains are flattened, valleys filled, and entire landscapes are reshaped to make room for new railways, highways, and cities. This is not just about laying down tracks, it's about completely remaking the land beneath them. Entire sections of railways have been built through some of the most rugged and difficult terrains on Earth. For instance, the Lanzhou to Chongqing Railway runs for 2,000 kilometers, and over 75% of it cuts through mountainous terrain, with tunnels, bridges, and viaducts making the impossible possible. Engineers spent years tunneling through rock, drilling, detonating, and reinforcing the Earth, breaking through the natural obstacles that once separated major regions. But this is not just for show. These railways are economic arteries, linking key industrial and resource-rich regions with China's megacities. The rail lines connect coal, lithium, and bauxite supplies from the rugged west to the bustling east, fueling China's economic engine. In doing so, they're transforming trade, migration, and the flow of goods on a national scale. What once took weeks of travel can now be covered in mere hours, making it possible to move goods and people faster and more efficiently than ever before. What makes China's railway system even more impressive is its focus on innovation. The high-speed rail network, which already surpasses 45,000 kilometers, more than the rest of the world combined, is constantly evolving. China is home to the world's fastest trains, including the Fuxing bullet train, which already hits speeds of up to 350 km/h. But China is not stopping there. A new maglev prototype has already crossed 620 km/h, faster than a passenger jet. These aren't just trains, they are a glimpse into the future of transportation. With magnetic levitation technology, these trains float above the tracks, reducing friction and reaching speeds once thought impossible. And it's not just about trains. China is developing entire transport ecosystems that use AI to predict and optimize every part of the journey. At major transport hubs, stations are more than just terminals. They are living, breathing systems powered by AI. Smart sensors track train demand in real time, ensuring the optimal number of trains are in service at any given time. Drones patrol stations to ensure safety, and passengers can board trains using facial recognition. This is transport that is not just evolving, it is mutating, becoming more efficient, more responsive, and more integrated into the fabric of daily life. But even more mind-blowing than the above-ground rail systems is China's vision for subterranean transport. Plans are already in motion to build mega-highways beneath major urban centers, underground systems that will combine maglev pods, freight tunnels, and logistics drones. This isn't science fiction, this is how China is planning for the future. Above ground, the cities are crowded and growing. Below ground, a new layer of infrastructure will allow for the seamless movement of goods, people, and resources, making entire cities even more connected and efficient. Imagine a city where the surface is free from congestion, where the roads and railways are invisible, but still, they are everywhere. This is the kind of futuristic transport system that China is already laying the groundwork for. Located just 100 kilometers southwest of Beijing, Xiong'an New Area isn't just another urban development, it's a vision of the future. Established in 2017, this mega project was designed as the city of tomorrow, built from the ground up to embody the principles of innovation, sustainability, and smart technology. With a population target of 6.7 million people, Xiong'an is set to be a model of how cities will function in the coming decades. The city is designed with cutting-edge technology at its core. Everything runs on a smart grid, from the energy supply to the waste management system, which uses vacuum tubes to remove waste efficiently. Autonomous buses glide through the streets. Facial recognition replaces traditional IDs, and AI optimizes energy consumption, traffic flow, and even public services. But it's not just about technology, it's about harmony. Xiong'an has been planned with an emphasis on green spaces, low-carbon infrastructure, and a strong connection to nature, such as the nearby Baiyang Lake wetlands. The city also serves as a relocation hub for government institutions and high-tech companies from Beijing, creating an ecosystem that fosters innovation and technological advancement. With over $120 billion already invested, this project is set to become the crown jewel of China's urbanization strategy. As the city continues to develop, it will serve as a live experiment for the integration of AI, urban planning, and sustainable living, showcasing a new way of thinking about cities that could eventually be replicated around the world. Xiong'an is not just a city, it's the blueprint for the future of urban life, where technology, nature, and human experience are seamlessly integrated. But this is just the beginning. China is already planning the next wave: self-operating cities, subterranean highways, AI-governed ecosystems. Imagine a city that thinks, adapts, and optimizes itself 24/7. This isn't urban planning, it's urban intelligence. China's infrastructure is designed to be more than functional. It's designed to be alive. The future of cities lies beneath the surface, where entire networks of high-speed maglev pods, drones, and freight tunnels will operate below the bustling metropolis, invisible yet indispensable. What happens when the rest of the world sees what China is doing and tries to catch up? The US is debating a mega-project stimulus act. India has announced $100 billion in rail and port expansion, and the EU is positioning its $300 billion global gateway as a counterbalance to China's Belt and Road. This isn't just development, it's a cold war with concrete and cables. Infrastructure has become ideology, and whoever builds the platforms builds the future. But this competition is about more than roads or bridges. It's about systems, data, power. It's about who controls tomorrow. As impressive as China's infrastructure revolution is, it's not without its challenges and risks. Building such monumental projects, massive dams, sprawling railways, and entire cities comes with immense costs, both financial and social. The first and most obvious concern is the massive financial burden these projects place on China. Many of these megaprojects are funded through massive loans, which means that there's constant pressure to deliver a return on investment quickly. If these projects do not meet their expected outcomes, China could face significant debt accumulation, potentially leading to economic instability. This risk is particularly pressing given the sheer scale of the investments. If a project like the mega dams, which often take years to complete, doesn't produce the expected energy or flood control benefits, it could lead to cascading failures that strain national reserves and slow down other planned developments. Environmental concerns also pose a significant risk. Some of China's most ambitious infrastructure projects, like the Three Gorges Dam, have had devastating effects on the environment, including the displacement of entire ecosystems and communities. For instance, over 1.3 million people were relocated for the Three Gorges Dam alone. Farmlands were flooded, villages were submerged, and ancient lands were lost. While these projects are touted as environmentally beneficial in terms of renewable energy production, the cost to biodiversity and the environment is not insignificant. Environmentalists argue that China's aggressive push for mega-projects is leading to irreparable damage, and these concerns could eventually spark public protests, especially as the environmental consequences of these projects become more visible. Furthermore, the social implications are profound. With every new mega-project, entire communities are often displaced to make room for new cities or industrial hubs. Not only does this cause a significant disruption to people's lives, but it also creates a psychological shift in the population. When whole towns are moved and people are forced to leave ancestral homes, it can breed resentment and discontent, leading to civil unrest. While these relocations are often framed as necessary for national progress, the human cost is undeniable. The Chinese government's approach to managing public protests, often by silencing opposition, raises concerns about the long-term social stability of such rapid transformations. Another risk involves the environmental and engineering complexities of building in such diverse and challenging landscapes. For example, the Lanzhou to Chongqing Railway runs through rugged mountain ranges, requiring years of tunneling and bridging through difficult terrain. Such ambitious engineering feats are prone to unexpected delays, cost overruns, and even disasters. Earthquakes, floods, or other natural disasters could lead to catastrophic failures in these hyper-engineered zones, creating not only economic but also human casualties. The level of dependence on technology, AI-controlled floodgates, IoT sensors embedded in infrastructure, means that a single system failure or cyber attack could cause massive disruptions. Finally, there's the ethical concerns surrounding the surveillance capabilities embedded in China's smart cities. While the benefits of smart city technologies, like traffic management, energy efficiency, and public safety, are clear, there's also a darker side to this technological leap. China's use of facial recognition technology, social credit systems, and AI-driven predictive policing raises questions about privacy, freedom, and control. As these systems become more pervasive, there's a real concern about the extent to which personal freedoms could be compromised for the sake of convenience and efficiency. The ethical implications of such technologies could have lasting global repercussions, especially as other nations begin to adopt similar systems. In short, while China's infrastructure boom is undeniably impressive, it's also fraught with risks. The economic, environmental, social, and ethical challenges that accompany these grand projects are not to be underestimated. If these projects succeed, they could redefine the future of urbanization and global infrastructure. But if they fail, or if the costs outweigh the benefits, the fallout could be just as revolutionary in a much darker way. So what does $450 billion really buy? Not just infrastructure, but leverage. This is a blueprint for a new kind of world order. Energy security, economic power, jobs, internal unity, global projection. China's $450 billion investment isn't just about building roads. It's about building belief in what's possible. The question now isn't just about who builds the tallest bridge or the fastest train. It's about who controls the future. And China, with its ambition, is playing the long game. So ask yourself, what future are we building? And who is building it first?